What up, brothers and sisters? This is your brother G World 7 underscore D. Here's a book I have in front of me called Journey Through the Ice Age. Now, the reason I'm showing you this book because as the front cover you see that is cave art painting. Either cave art painting or carving on bones. These are early Europeans showing images of the animals or what roamed through Europe at that particular time. I'm talking about this now because many of this stuff has been dated to be about as old as 26,000 to 30,000 years ago. That the only people who existed on Earth at that time were so-called black people, not white people. I'm emphasizing this, like I just said, because you had the images that just showed you of the Romans of the Holy Roman Empire or black Europeans of the Holy Roman Empire. Those are black rulers who were just following other blacks who came before them. You've seen the images of crowns, you've seen them by castles, and you see the head of a pope of a cardinal. That is not an image of a slave. I keep hammering this. That is not an image of a slave. A slave will not have a crown on their head. A slave will not be by a castle. A slave will not have the pope's crown on their head. Those are the images I showed you in that book by J. Rogers, Nature Notes on Colorline. Anyone tries to tell you something different, has an agenda, or just wanting to make, quote, black people as slaves. Continue with a slave narrative when we have a narrative really of rooting the damn planet. Alright? I want to show you images of the cave paintings they did. We're going to go, well, look at this. Horses and a rhinoceros. Then cave paintings. But image of a horse. Now, some I mentioned before, a lot of stuff in these museums are fake and forgeries. So they put a lot of fake and forgeries and pass it off as real history. But a lot of our early ancestors who went into Europe made carvings that look like themselves and look like the animals that roamed in the area at that time, like I just said. So they was very sophisticated in painting in caves and in carving on rocks and bone. These are paintings of rhinoceros. That's awesome. Some of the stuff is dated, like I just mentioned, 26 to 30,000 years ago. The only people resisting during that time were black. Now, how come, if black people the only one existed during that time, how come the narrative is still preached as if the first time black people entered Europe was 711 AD? No, that was the Islamic Moors entering Europe at that time. But you already had black people there building great civilizations. And not all black people, quote, are African. There's some black people, like in Australia, they supposedly have been out of Africa 40 or 60,000 years ago. How are they still African? There was an idiot came on my page claiming that those people are African. African. No, they're not African. If they've been out of damn Africa for 40 to 60,000 years, they developed their own culture. They developed their own way of life. They have a dance culture. They did their own dances, own religious beliefs, and own diet, type of food that they eat. They have their own way of life. After 40 to 60,000 years, you're going to have something different. Why would you sit there and just say that they're African? To me, that's lazy research, and that's very ignorant and disrespectful to the people of that region for taking pride in identifying who they are. Not to say they don't have no connections to brothers and sisters in Africa, but they're not African. I need to say that. I can't say that more pointedly, on point, and to the point. Look at that image. Look at that image. Did you see the sister right there? Of a woman. This is what early humans showing of themselves. Alright? Paintings. the carvings. Look at this. This is beautiful right here. This is awesome. You see this on the south side of Chicago. That shape on the south side of Chicago, the west side. Alright? That image that you see. And I'm driving in the point that those blacks that I showed you are just a follow-up of other blacks who came before them. So there was always black people in Europe during the time of humans. The existence of humans in Europe. So you have to understand that. And then when you push these days back 26,000 years or 30,000 years, you know that all the people were so-called black and that white folks didn't exist. So this tells you right there that the base of Europe has always been black. So you see those people on those boats migrating to Europe, coming from Africa, you can say some of them are going back home. Some of them are actually going back home. But I'm showing you this. Is that when you study this stuff and you look at the dates of this stuff, the dates that have been given, and you know about the existence of white people when they came about, it lets you know who the original people of Europe were, how they look like, and it also tells you that they were advanced at that stage, because these are not simple-minded people making detailed rock art paintings. Simple-minded people don't do this. They depict animals in certain scenes, and some of this stuff is so old, as you can tell, is some of the stuff is hard to see because it's just the weathering over time is being ignored, not being restored properly. So it is basically, it's starting to fade out, but you can still see some of the images on what the original people thousands of years have done, and it's incredible that it's still around though. Those images, those pictures, those features are still around. So I'm showing you that, and showing you the fact is that the original people of Europe did all this. They did these carvings and rock art paintings. So I'm just showing you this. And I'm going to highlight some more and talk about some more about not only blacks in Europe but blacks in America. I'm just touching on this real quick. Showing you all this. This is awesome, man. This is awesome. And when you start studying this and you see the dates and how far back they go, it'll blow you away. Alright. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. I'm going to come with another video, but I just wanted to show you that to get you in your head to realize that so-called blacks been in Europe. They were the original people of Europe, not white folks. And they were constructing figurines and various different types of art portraying animals in different settings. Animals who existed or were in that region at that particular time. You see what they